What is up, everybody? This is Derek with the Nerd Cave. On behalf of the Nerd Cave, I am here and I'm here to have fun. The inmate is running the asylum tonight. I am doing the show solo. Zach, nowhere to be found. He decided, you know what? I'm done with this. Derek, you take over. AKA, I got the dead weight. It's just me tonight, guys. I get to do this at my own pace and have some fun. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. Hope everyone has had a good week so far. We are 1 week away from Thanksgiving, guys, and it is upon us. Like it has finally hit the realization for me a week out that everyone keeps talking about like Black Friday and whatnot, and it's the first holiday, major holiday, I don't have to work at GameStop. And it is so surreal. Like it actually renewed my spirit to know that I won't have to. Granted, yes, I have to be up at 6:30 on Black Friday, but it's just to open the cash office and get the registers ready for a regular day. Not to be up there at 6, not to go to bed or be at work from 3 o'clock till 10 p.m. at night, and then have to turn around and be up there at 6 o'clock in the morning to do online curbside pickup delivery orders, that are like 50 of them right now, or like waiting for them to load for like 20 minutes and then fill them all out while trying to honor, all the bundle deals. So it is spectacular. I cannot be in a better mood. And tomorrow's Friday. I am off tomorrow. It was a crazy busy day today, but I am here. I am ready to talk some nerdy news with you guys. It's going to be a great show tonight, and I hope everyone is doing well. What's up? Random question. Is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving like Black Friday at Publix? Okay, honest answer, I don't know, because this will be my first Black Friday with Publix. I got hired in February. I've heard, it's a different animal. Like, I know how it normally goes is Tuesday nights after we close, our ad change, and our new ads start Wednesday morning when we open. With it being Wednesday, and then Thursday being off, I'm not entirely sure how the ad change will work, because I know, what was it, 4th of July weekend? They extended it because of where 4th of July fell. They extended a lot of the sales another couple days and then changed it like different part of the week. I'm not sure if they'll do that this time around or not, but we'll find out. Yes, if I say make sure you hit that like button and share it with somebody that you love, because we want more people to see this awesome show that we do. But to get back to your question, like, yeah, I don't think so. I think, will it be busier at night? Probably. Will we probably have people in here past 9 o'clock, like probably to 9:30? Possibly. But in terms of like, is it like different, like sales wise? Not entirely sure. Let's say.
Oh, the inmates running this.
Listen, sir, you're supposed to be like having a fun weekend retreat.
You can't get rid of me, boy.
I'm
everywhere.
A wild Zach has appeared.
I'm in the chat. I'm in the crawl spaces. I'm coming for you, boy. Coming for you.
You're in the bottom. You're in the bottom corner of my computer screen, just watching me at all times.
I'm gonna eat you up, boy. Like a turkey sandwich. Like a turkey sandwich. You better do this right, boy. I'm gonna come after you. I know where you live, boy.
Yes, you have. Oh Lord. Oh, I did not expect that. Well, Murdoch, so much for our opening shenanigans.
Yeah, boy, I'm everywhere. I see you. I hear everything.
Wild Zach has joined the chat. It is great, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Did you catch my comment about I finally cut the dead weight?
I literally said that. I was like, cut the dead weight, huh?
You know.
You know how to lose 10 pounds real quick?
Now how?
And cut your head off.
I'm glad you think my head only weighs 10 pounds. But I'm glad, I thought I was going to have a smooth show. And then you're supposed to not be here, sir. You're supposed to be in the background. Making me out to be a liar.
You are a liar. Okay, well, I just had to jump in. So, if
Yeah,
you say
I
anything
figured.
wrong, I'm just a click away. I'll jump on here, boy.
So make sure I mention your favorite video game or your favorite Sony exclusive from the PS4 era. Got it. I'll mention it multiple times tonight. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, yeah. Murdoch,
So
if he mentions the unmentionables, Days Gone, you mute him. All right, all right, all right. I'm gone.
see you, buddy. See, even when I'm a solo host, it is we still have an appearance from the one and only Mr. Zach. So it is great. Here I thought I was just gonna do solo shenanigans and get to do my own shtick tonight, but nope, can't have that. But it is okay. Like it was unexpected. Like I just hear pop. I'm like, oh no. Like is it? At first I thought it was gonna be something like was wrong. Like I've been muted the entire time, or like my video is off or whatever. No, this fool has to pop in like Randy Orton and RKO me out of nowhere with like, I see you, boy. I see you. I'm always watching. It's great. This is why I love him. Yeah, no shtick for me. Um, Hope everyone has had a good week. Like I said, the weekend is upon us. It is the week before Thanksgiving. Hope everyone is gonna have some great times together. Because I'm gonna go ahead and make it. I haven't talked it over with Zach, but if it changes and he wants to do something else, we will keep you updated. But for now, I'm just going to throw it out there and assume we are not going to have a show for next week, just because Thursday is Thanksgiving. We probably take off that week just to have everyone spend time with their loved ones and their family and eat some good food, guys. Like make sure you like that stuffing. It's not just for the turkey; it's to stuff your bellies too. So make sure you eat plenty of stuffing as well. And then go out there and, if you're one of those people that likes to go out and bang the doors down for Black Friday, just be safe. Please be safe. Like, we don't want anyone getting hurt. We want you all to come back here in at least maybe 2 weeks, maybe a week. I don't know. Like I said, we'll keep you posted. But pretty safe to assume that we're not going to do a show next week. But we want you to come back for the next time we go live. And tell us all about your adventures. Before I continue, I do want to give a somber note. I did text Zach about it. It was a shocking thing that happened over the past week. Rest in peace to Kevin Conroy. He passed away at the age of 60. I didn't even know he was battling cancer. But that was the case. He was battling cancer, and I guess he lost, or I don't know all the details, but he has passed away. He was the voice of Batman. He was part of my childhood, and I'm sure Zach's childhood, and yep, Zach confirmed it. No show next week. But he was part of mine and Zach's childhood growing up on the 90s animated Batman show. And I'm sure all of you who's watched that same show, that was, a lot of people's icon for the time being. He was the one who did a lot of voice acting that I didn't know. He did some live action for some of the CW as Bruce Wayne in the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. Killed it. In his role. And he was also the voice of Batman in the Arkham series, one of the greatest video game license series to this day. One of the series that put Rocksteady on the map and broke the license game curse of just being utter garbage. He was one of the ones who made it better and made licensed video games fun for everyone and serious. So rest in peace to him. A classic national treasure, gone from us way too soon. But yeah. But, I just want to throw that out there because, like I said, Kevin Conroy has been a part of my life for a long time. It's funny, when I started, it was the year before I started working at GameStop and going back to the Arkham series. And I'd watched the animated series growing up, so I recognized the voice. Saw Batman Arkham Asylum on the shelf for the PlayStation 3. It was the year, like I said, the year before I started working there, and I was like, this looks cool. Let me check it out. Haven't played anything Batman ever, so let me see what it's about. And this is before I got into Game Informer or kept up on the news regularly. And it's been a while. I didn't ever play a licensed video game. I played the Wolverine game from the 2009 prequel. That movie was trash. Game was actually pretty good, but I hadn't played many licensed video games. So I figured, why not give it a shot? soon as I booted it up and heard his voice, I got goosebumps and I got giddy because it's like I know who I was, like the Leo DiCaprio meme of him just like on the couch pointing ferociously like I know this. And it's like I know you. And then I was hooked from then on. And then Mark Hamill as a Joker made it even better. And it was all she wrote. That was like arguably it's one of my favorite video game series of all time. Obviously, God of War is king, but Arkham Asylum is arguably top 5, if not top 3 for me in terms of video game series. With that being said, now that I'm about to say we're going to get into the show here pretty soon, here in just a moment. What we're going to do is I'm going to re-intro this. I'm going to give a countdown. We're going to do a re-intro. I'm going to do the whole spiel by myself. Hopefully I don't get tongue-tied because I haven't done this in a long time, at least the intro. Like I know I've been here, been listen to Zach's docile tones while he reads off, the little intro skit. But I haven't done it in a while, so hopefully I don't screw up anything, at least royally. If not, what's a NerdCave production without a few mishaps, right? At this point, it's just become commonplace. It's in our DNA, guys. It's in our DNA. It's who we are. It's why you love us. It's why we love you. So, yeah, I'm going to re-intro that. Then I'm going to, get into the gaming discussions, and then we're gonna go from there. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna talk some Phil Spencer, and some Starfield news. Gonna talk about some God of War, obviously. Or at least the developer. We're gonna talk some Diablo 4. It's gonna be a good night, guys. Got some good stuff planned for you tonight. At least I hope you enjoy it anyway. So without further ado, I'm gonna give the countdown here, and and then we'll re-intro the show. So without further ado, we're gonna do 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? This is Derek with the Nerd Cave, here running the show solo, if I might add. I am one of your hosts, Derek Daniel, but I am not going to have a name tonight. I'm just known as Derek. Now, if you want to give a nickname in the chat, just as a freebie, I'll read them off, and if I like one, I'll stick with it for the night. But Zach's not here. He's off playing hooky. He's got some company thing to do this weekend. Whatever. It only pays his bills, I guess. Buttercup Lizard Lips. Okay, and we coming in with fire. I got you. He's playing hooky this week. He decided, Derek, you're due for a solo show. Why don't you do it? And I was like, sure, I'm up to the challenge. I like new things. Why not? Let's see how I hold up. Because both of us together are like peanut butter and jelly. Or probably better peanut butter and chocolate. We just meld together perfectly. But apart, how are we fare? How do we do? That'll be the answer tonight. So, I'll say I'm one of your hosts, like the other host is gone. This is the Nerd Cave News, where each and every week we run you through all the video game news you need to know. You can watch us live over on twitch.tv/NerdCave Network on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Time, or you can watch the show later on youtube.com/NerdCave Network. Make sure to hit the follow and subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything, and like it so more people will see the video. Smash that like button, guys. Smash it. Do it without breaking your computer. But, don't break your computer, but smash that like button. How are you going to do it? I don't know. I can't give you that answer. You got to figure it out on your own. Then you can tell me. Then I can know the answer. The podcast version will be available on Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, and Anchor, and you can go subscribe and listen to it each week while you are on there. Leave us a 5-star review. No less than 5, guys. You got, no pun intended for the restaurant, but no less than a 5-star review. Otherwise, Zach will come and find you. Even from his little bougie hotel he's staying at over the weekend, he'll find you, and he'll. Well, I don't want to say, but I'll say this is family friendly. Jammin' Jelly Johnson. You know what? Just because of the synonym wordplay, I like that one too. So Jammin'. So I got some good 2 picks to make from. Where did I leave off? Yes, this episode is brought to you by the Epic Game Store and our wonderful patrons. You can support us by using the creator code NerdCave at checkout in the Epic Store, even on free games, guys. You want to get those V-Bucks, you want to get those PlayStation games, that or even when it's on sale, use that creator code. Helps us out, immensely. Gives us some money. Even, like I said, even on free games. You love playing Rocket League? You want to get those battle passes? put in that creator code. We'll get some money. You help us out. We scratch our back. You look at me. I can't even say it. You scratch our back, we'll scratch yours. Meanwhile, over on Patreon, if you want to jump on ship or jump on board our ship with everyone else that has jumped on board with us, who is wanting to ride out, find the One Piece, as they say, you can go over to patreon.com/nerdcave, just like our wonderful crew members, the first mate, Brandon Hicks, our helmsman, the conductor, our gunners, Daniel Sanford, Rushing Waters Yoga, Marilyn James, Brittany, the Granny Bee Harrison, and our deckhand, Martin Sager. Guys, it's November, mid-November, and we are deep in the thick of God of War Ragnarok, baby. Whoa! Man, I cannot. This is like, I have not been like, if you thought I was hyped for Horizon Forbidden West back in February, this game is just like giving me goosebumps all the time. Like, obviously, I'm not going to get into spoilers. I know Zach and I have talked about some certain stuff off air. I've talked with some other people about it. Not going to spoil anything. Going to give vague indications. I'm about, oh gosh, what did my time clock leave off on? Somewhere between 12 and 15 hours I've spent in God of War. Like, I literally played all day on Tuesday. Like, well, I shouldn't say all day. More like between 12:30 and 1 o'clock till about 7 o'clock at night, straight. Like, I had to go to the bathroom, get some food, get some water, obviously, in between there. But for the majority, I played it. I was playing it, and I got deep into it. And I'm just like, man, oh man, this is getting good. Like, a lot of the character interactions between people, like the evolving storylines, like finding like the side quests that go deeper into some of the characters that we know. It's like there's this one in like one of the first places you go to that just pulls on your heartstrings, that you're just like, man, this got some heavy stuff to deal with. And then you find out some like other stuff in like another part that I just played on Tuesday, and it's like, oh, I forgot that they, this happened, and they bring this. It's just great. Like, the cast of characters has only gotten better. Freya, Mimir, Kratos, Atreus, the dwarves in all their swearing glory. They have gotten better, and this is what you want out of a sequel. Like, you set the expectations in the initial game, and then you build upon it. Not just gameplay, not just structure, not just, the basics, but you also have to deepen that character interaction, especially a story-heavy game like this. And they're doing it, like, especially for the established characters. Like, the new ones, yeah, they're still getting their footing, like, you're still trying to get to know them. But for the ones we already know, it's like, all right, how can you be more interesting? Like, what can you do? Because, Forbidden West did that too. Like, Aloy as a character got deeper, and her cast of characters not only expanded, but like Varl got a lot more intriguing. Aaron got a lot more intriguing as well. With his character progression. So it just adds to the overall greatness that this game has made or has become, and I cannot be happier for it. I'm glad we're gonna sneak in. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, we're gonna talk about some little game awards tonight, at least like the nominations. We're not gonna break down the entire list of every subject, of every game. We're just gonna hit some of the highlights. Obviously, Game of the Year, which God of War Ragnarok is a part of the Game of the Year list, I might add. So it's going to be great. I'll give my thoughts on that later in the show. But yeah, guys, we're gonna play. It's our November Game Club Game of the Month. You can pretty much argue that it's going to be December because I don't know, like, I'm off tomorrow, probably going to play a lot. Not sure how much I'm going to play next week because I'm anticipating to getting overtime and working like a lot next week for Publix, and Thursday I'm off, but I'm going to be, getting ready for that feast that is Thanksgiving, spending time with family. So next week, I'm not sure how much I'm going to play, but it's easy to say that it's going to be December's Game Club Game of the Month to end out the year. Ragnarok is coming. It's going to end out the year and end this series. So fair shot. But yeah, guys, I'm just loving it. But yeah, we're going to move on to the gaming discussion now. Get into that a little bit. So starting off, our number one, Diablo 4 developer addresses concerns about its open world setting. I didn't know it was concerning. Like, you to start off, like, just my initial thoughts when I saw this, right? I didn't know it was going to be open world because I always thought it was like one of those, like, yeah, it was a dungeon looter or whatnot, but I thought it was like big open areas. But it's going to be massive open world. Now, I wonder if it's going to take pages from Elden Ring and, make it intriguing open world, or if it's going to be like more like God of War, where it's open, but not like you can't just go from A to B. Like you have to wait to go into another area or wait for it to load. But from the article, Blizzard's Rod Ferguson has touched base on the open world setting for Diablo 4, assuring players that it's not anything like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, although still, quote, allows for non linearity. Speaking with IGN, Ferguson said that the open world setting would allow players to take a break from the core story if they want, with plenty of side quests on offer if you decide to stray from the golden path, as it were. Still, he wanted to be clear Diablo 4 isn't a Breath of the Wild clone. Quote, one of the concerns about putting open world in a big neon sign and flashing that sign is that people would have notion of Breath of the Wild. Oh, it's completely organic and I can go anywhere and do anything? That's not really our story. Our story allows for non-linearity, but there is a story. We want it to have a beginning, middle, and end. You can actually not pursue the story for a while. You can actually not pursue the story for a while. That's the nice thing about the open world, end quote. So I take from this is it's going to be like big, like at first I thought when I saw this it was going to be more like God of War, obviously more like Ragnarok, 2018 game, where you have like you're not your linear sectors where you're going from point A to point B, but then like when you get to the Lake of Nine, you have this big area where you can explore, go find things, do side quests, that type of thing. But then I thought about it, and I think it's going to be more about for the people who have played the series or this game. Um, I think it's gonna be more like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where it's so big, like they can't put it all on the screen or like all in one map. But when you go to the different realms, it's like a huge open area that you can explore. I think it'll be more along those lines, or like a la like a Dark Souls 3, where it'll be like big chunk, like you'll have to go into like the next loading area, which is like the next section of the game, and then that's like whole areas open to explore. Um, and then you'll have your linear paths when the main quest happens or like when side quest happens. But I think it's going to be more along Valhalla, where they'll just have multiple different maps, but you can explore anywhere in said map. um but yeah, I want to know what you guys thoughts are on that. How do you feel about them changing Diablo style? Like obviously it's still going to be Diablo at heart with the loot and the the RPG elements. But I know like because Murdoch made a good point, it's like no more top down. They really haven't said if they're getting rid of top down, but you got to think for like an open world setting, it may not work out as well. Like I would almost assume like a third person over the shoulder camera type deal, or like maybe like a further back like mesh up, like a fusion of it, like where it's over the shoulder kinda, but more like over the head where it's like angled up. I don't know. I can't speak on it. Haven't seen any gameplay. Hopefully we see something soon. I know we talked about last week that they're speculating that there's going to be an April release date and that the reveal could be next month in December. You got to imagine Game Awards is going to be the place to do that if the rumor is actually true. Uh, Murdoch says these days I feel like top down is out of style, feels dated. I get that. Like I feel like it's more appropriate for RTS games or like computer based games like um oh what is it? Not Civilization. Um oh my gosh, what is that series that Xbox owns? Oh my, now I can't think of it. But yeah, like that, like RTS games like top down. Not Warcraft. Well, maybe Warcraft 2, but it's like what is that series? Not Civilization. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Not XCOM's. XCOM's another one. Um, hold on. Let me look this up, guys. I because that's gonna irk me in the rest of the show. Um, that's gonna irk me the rest of the show because Um, I know I'm gonna kick myself when I realize what it is. Um, mm, Age of Empires. That's what it is. Age of Empires. Um, there's one there. Like yes, thank you. Age of Empires. Yeah. So they're very top down. So it still works for those style of games. But I feel like for Diablo, like you said, Murdoch, it does feel dated. Um, I think a new like because we saw this with God of War as well, right? Like a new camera style or a new art direction worked out for it, and other games too. Like, other games have changed the way they've done like previous entries to now. Like Witcher's changed a lot because I think they used to, and Fallout's changed from like you go see like early Fallout 1 and 2, it is way different than what you see with Fallout 3 and 4. So change is good if it's done right and tasteful. Um what was still need me, you see. Yeah, Zach's like, you still need me, you see. I'm like, all right, whatever. I just have one faux pas, sir. Don't. Yeah, GTA. Yeah, he brings up, yeah, because GTA used to be top down as well for the originals, and now GTA 5, GTA 4 and 5 have done the over the camera, over the shoulder thing, and especially GTA 5, like when they went to, what is it, PS4 and Xbox One, they had the first person mode for online. So yeah, they've even changed different styles as well. So it's good, but we gotta see that first trailer, that first reveal. Not a CG, like CG is good, but give me that first gameplay inklings. That way it gives people a taste for what you're talking about. Moving on, number 2, Phil Spencer confident in his decision to delay Starfield. Speaking to The Verge and spotted by PC Gamer, Spencer said that releasing a game too early is a mistake the company has made before, and especially as Starfield is the first Bethesda game to be released as an Xbox exclusive, he wanted the developers to feel supported by the new publisher. Quote, "We have experienced shipping games too early, but in hindsight, when you look at a game like Starfield, which has taken so long and so much investment in new IP from the team, the decision to give the time to build the game that they feel they should be building is just the right thing to do." He continued, "Starfield and Redfall, which are our first big Xbox games with Bethesda, ZeniMax coming into the team, I just wanted to make sure those teams felt like they had the support they could get from Xbox. Maybe feel some of the benefit of being part of a larger organization than it has that has other revenue streams and other things going on that could be helpful." Starfield, and of course, Starfield was delayed. It was supposed to actually come out just under a week ago, like the 11th. Um, and now it's a more vague first half 2023. And of course, Redfall was supposed to be April of, was it back at, yeah, there was a, was it April of next year, and then back in May delayed it. Um, but yeah, it goes back to the old. I think it was Shigeru Miyamoto who said, you know, a game that's rushed is bad forever, but a delayed game is on, it can be good. Like, and that's like, take your time. Like, obviously we've seen things where we're getting to another one later in one of the quick hits, but another big game that's been on like the burner for years just got a delay after getting a release date not that long ago. But the more time you take, the more polish you need on, because I mean that's why Final Fantasy 16 has been pushed back so much. Like, it's the game's 95% done, but they gave it some extra time till summer because they wanted to make the game great. And part, like, what was it? What was the most recent one that, like, the game was done, but they wanted to give it extra months of polish to work it up? Like, more like the making games is hard, guys. Like, I've never done it. Don't Probably will never get into that world, but it's hard. And I can't imagine with the way technology and especially fan demand and like the uptick of how much like the scale of video game making has increased. I can't imagine how much stress it's putting on the developers. Like, I know a couple of years ago, crunch was a big topic of interest in the industry, and that became like very taboo. And they worked it out since then, or at least, at the very least, good for good or for bad, have hushed up about it. Um, so I know they want to make sure they give the developers time and don't feel like they're obligated to work long hours and stay late and miss family events. They still want to have lives outside of work. But yeah, I think Phil, and it goes with Xbox, right? Like, they're playing the Sony route with this. Sony in the PS4 era knew that they couldn't just rush things out like they did with the PS3. They had some hits on PS3, but not as many as they, for the amount of exclusives they put out. The number of hits compared to the number of mediocre to flops was not equivalent. So they wanted to take their time, go back to the drawing board with a lot of their studios, and basically say, "Hey, we'll give you the time, but you got to put out a banger." And we saw that it was a lot of remakes, a lot of indies, a lot of timed exclusives in the beginning of the PS4 life cycle. But then when the exclusives started to hit, it was all downhill from there in a good way. Like, Uncharted 4 started off, then it was Horizon Zero Dawn, then God of War, then Spider-Man, then you name it. Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us Part 2. It was a smorgasbord of great exclusives, and I think Phil noticed that and took it to heart. He's like, look, especially buying up all these studios, like he's busy signing papers, dotting I's, crossing T's. He's been busy like getting all these acquisitions done that he's like he knows that he's got to put up or shut up now and get some games out because Gears 5 has been out for in the wild for a long time. Halo Infinite's been out for over a year at this point. Or it'll be a year in December. Yeah, it'll be a year in December. But yeah, it's time to get those things cranking. And with Bethesda, they've had a long history of making great games with Skyrim, with Wolfenstein, with Elder Scrolls Fallout, you name it. They need to have some bangers now. And Starfield, not only being the first exclusive, but being a brand new IP and something as a space RPG, which is something new for Bethesda, that a lot of people, fairly or unfairly, are going to compare either Outer Worlds or Mass Effect to. And so it's already going to be skeptical out the gate. So they've got to deliver on it. And I love how Microsoft is saying, take your time, make a great game. And we know Arcane. Like, it wasn't that long ago. Deathloop was up for Game of the Year, and it was a great game. Now, it just came to Xbox recently, and it got nominated as a PlayStation 5 exclusive. But that was, after it was acquisitioned and the deals had already been made. But Arcane knows how to make great games, like Dishonored, Prey. Like Prey, I know it had some skeptics, but it was a great level design and some great gameplay mechanics in there too. So they know Arcane knows how to make a game, but they still said, "Hey, this is something new for y'all. Redfall with vampires and all that co-op. Take your time." So I feel like it's only a matter of time before Xbox comes in like a raging storm and tries to give Sony the business, which is only gonna make it better for us, the gamers, because if we have nothing but great games to choose from, we all win. Speaking of great games, guys, our third story for tonight, the Game Awards 2022 full list of nominees has been revealed. Now, like I said, hold on, let's see. And then let me before I get into that, let's get back to chat for just a minute. Yeah, Metal Gear was top down. A lot of hype around the game. I know it grabbed my attention. I will say this on God of War. On a year of big delays, God of War hit their mark. That is true. Granted, and Sony has done this too. They have stopped giving release dates or even release years before they know they can hit it. And then once they give that release year, then it's a countdown, because it's like, all right, you give me the year. When's the when's the quarter? Is it going to be Q3, Q2? Then once you get that, it's like, all right, what's the month? What's the date? Just give it to me. What was it? That was such a good time to be a gamer. Dishonored, yep, Deathloop was an amazing game. Murdoch didn't like Deathloop, and again, there are some things, like I kind of said it when I saw the first trailer. It felt like a very Dishonored clone, but it was different enough to Zach going back up in the chat says Skull and Bones being delayed. Yeah, hopefully, I don't know if there's any hope for Skull and Bones, but Sonic Frontiers did okay. Didn't take the world by storm, but did okay. Did better than most people would think. So there's still hope. Take note, chat. Sony can be depended on for releases. I mean, yes and no. They've had to work out their kinks, Murdoch. They took it on the chin as well, but they finally got a formula down that works for them. And I think Xbox is, doing that as well. So Nintendo just at this point is like, hey, is it ready? Cool. Now we're gonna, because Nintendo doesn't even announce a game until it's like within a year of release. But yeah, Game Awards. We're gonna hit some of the heavy hitters like Game of the Year, Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Audio Design, that kind of thing. But we're not gonna go through every category. I'll just hit some of the big ones that I think, that stick out to me, or, that, I feel like is worth talking about. Starting off, of course, Game of the Year. We got 6 nominees. We got Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, The Expecteds. But then there's 3 on here that one makes sense. One's a surprise, or the other 2 are surprises. One's for a good reason. The other 3 are Stray, A Plague Tale Requiem, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Stray is is considered an indie game, so I feel like it just did something different. It's a great cat simulator. it was something different. Like, I'm surprised, like, both for good and for bad, that it ended up on Game of the Year list. Like, I wonder what made it like stick out. I guess it was just the buzz around it and the fact that, oh, I get to play as a cat, in a dystopian future with robots. I guess the premise was unique enough. Plague Tale Requiem, I am glad is on this list because Zach and I really enjoyed a Plague Tale Innocence for our Game Club game back in July. You can check that review out on our YouTube channel for sure. Um, yeah, we really enjoyed the premise of Innocence, and Requiem, from what all we saw, was going to be again like Forbidden West, like Ragnarok, a huge step forward for the sequel because of the premise set in the first game that they were going to jump leaps and bounds, and it got great reviews. Now I have not played it. I know Zach's played Requiem; he's enjoyed it a lot from what I remember him saying. Um, I am glad that this has gotten recognition because that is great for Asobo. It is great for that whole entire team that they are being recognized because I know Focus Entertainment as a publisher has been trying to do different things with different games and get on the map because they have Greedfall, they have Hood, Outlaws and Legends. They have they have a smorgasbord of different things for the different types of gamers, but I'm glad that something has stuck for them and has put them on the map to be a serious player. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I felt like they needed another RPG on there because it's all like the best stories are always RPG heavy. I know Xenoblade as a series has been great. Again, like Stray, I don't know that it needed to. Uh, I don't necessarily know if it was deserving of Game of the Year recognition, but I feel like they also had to put a Nintendo property on there and not. This is the first holiday that outside of Pokemon, yeah, we got Scarlet and Violet for tomorrow actually coming out. But this holiday for Nintendo has been kind of quiet. Like we had Splatoon 3 and then we have Pokemon, but I felt like nothing in between has come out at least noteworthy. So I feel like they had to, give Nintendo a little bit of nod on there. It's almost like given. But yeah, it's definitely, if you look at a list at the first glance, it's going to be top heavy for sure with Elden Ring, Ragnarok, and Forbidden West. But then it's a nice little fill. I think they just wanted different genres on there represented. Best game direction. It's actually been, by the way, a little side note here. God of War is like leading the charge with like 10 different nominations in the Game Awards. Best game direction. Elden Ring, Ragnarok, Forbidden West, Immortality, and Stray. Immortality, I didn't even know was a thing. Like I feel like I've heard about it here and there, but it's not huge. I haven't really heard about it. You see how he skips Five Guys comment. Hold on, I'm bad about this. Zach's a lot better at checking the chat than I am, so I'm sorry, guys. It's the year of Five Guys. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord! Don't bring this up. We gotta work something out because I gotta pay this debt because he's not gonna let me live it down until I do. He's still not gonna let me live it down, regardless. But I at least gotta pay my blood debt back. I haven't played Stray yet, but we will get to it. I feel like they are trying to put one indie per year on the Game Awards list. Last year was It Takes Two, the year before Hades. That's a good point, actually, Zach. I do agree that like now in it, but I will say this: Hades and It Takes Two, very deserving. Not to say Stray's bad, but they were very deserving. Those games took the world by storm. It got great reviews and whatnot. So I felt like those were deserving of their God of the Game of the Year nominations. Stray, I felt like came out, got the recognition, especially the pre-release hype with the previews and whatnot. But then after it came out, you didn't really hear anyone talking about it. So that's the only thing. Like I question this nomination this year. Those two are standouts compared to Stray. Yes, for sure. Love Requiem. The story is interesting and the gameplay is even better. Great. After I power through Ragnarok and try and get the platinum this time around, that Requiem will probably be the next one on the list. But then again, who am I kidding? By the time I beat it, Forspoken will be on the horizon, and then Hogwarts Legacy and so on. So I'll fit Requiem in there at some point. But I'm glad to see that it is doing a lot better than Innocence in terms of like leaps to improvements from the first game to the next one. Xenoblade is a very JRPG series. It's sort of like the world. It's sort of like Apocalypse happened and like these giant titans like battled it out, but then like I don't know if they're dead or just not living or like immobile now, but then like civilizations grew, like people live on them, and it's like they're like huge, like it's like as huge as like a regular open world map. Um, so yeah, it's got a very like JRPG heavy, but it's got some good story beats to it from what I could tell from the first couple games, but not something. It's up there. It's just a tick under Final Fantasy in terms of like popularity, I would say, or maybe even like a few ticks down from Final Fantasy. But I digress. Um, I'm loving it. Haven't had the chance to play this week with work and everything. I have a great review on Wreckfest. Oh gosh, yeah. I like how we just kind of skimmed over that, but we were taking a break before Ragnarok came. Indie needs to be noticed, but the game has to hold up to the public's review. Yeah, for sure. I do think like the public recognition along with can't just be reviews. It has to be both hand in hand to some extent with what the public says as well. Because as we see more and more, influencers have a great uh, impact on game sales and getting word out if people should play this game or not. Um, Going back to the list, best narrative: Elden Ring, Plague Tale Requiem, Ragnarok, Forbidden West, and Immortality. Um, I feel like just kind of giving my insight, I feel like it'll be for a lot of these it'll swap. Like God of War Ragnarok will get one, and then Elden Ring will get another category. I feel like those are going to be the two Titan heavyweights battling it out for most of the awards. Now, as far as Game of the Year, I feel like even though I'm enjoying Ragnarok, because Elden Ring has come out and is still buzzing to this day, I feel like it's going to be the surprise nod for Game of the Year. Then again, I thought Deathloop was a sure in for Game of the Year last year, and It Takes Two won, rightfully so. Now, I'm not trying to, snub It Takes Two because even though I didn't play it, I know Zach did, loved it, and a lot of people really took that game by heart and really enjoyed it. It touched on some real subject matter that hit home for a lot of people, and we could have a surprise. A Plague Tale Requiem could actually win it. Who knows? But I feel like Elden Ring is the early nod for to win that Game of the Year award. Best score in music: Elden Ring, Requiem, Ragnarok, Metal Hellsinger, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Hellsinger is that one where it's like a first-person shooter, but you gotta hit it. It's sort of like Guitar Hero, where you gotta hit, you gotta shoot when the icons come to the aiming reticle to hit to the beat and keep it going. Um, Best audio design: Elden Ring, Ragnarok, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Gran Turismo 7, and Forbidden West. Look at Gran Turismo getting some love. That's another game that came out like beginning of March, but because Forbidden West came out like 2 weeks prior, Gran Turismo 7 got lost in the fold, and no one ever talked about it. I don't know if Zach played it. I forget what his thoughts were on it, but I'm sure he'll tell me in the chat in a moment. Best performance: Christopher Judge as Kratos from Ragnarok, my boy. Also, his boy Sonny Soljic as who plays Atreus in Ragnarok. Ashley Birch from who plays Aloy in Forbidden West. Charlotte McBurney who plays Amicia in Plague Tale Requiem, and Manon Gage who plays Marissa Marvel in Immortality. I don't know. Like I can't remember if Chris Judge won Best Performance in 2018, but I feel like if he did, I feel like he's not gonna. Not now, depending on what where I get in Ragnarok by the time the Game Awards come out. If I finished it, I could change my tune, but I feel like they're not going to give it to him two different iterations. Not in a row, obviously, but two different iterations in a series. I feel like Charlotte, depending on her performance in Plague Tale Requiem, the voice of Amicia could get it. Or, because of how much I liked his growth, Atreus could be a dark horse to win Best Performance as well. Best indie game. Speaking of indies, this was a good year for indies on a lot of front. We got Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic. I feel like Cult of the Lamb will be one of the easier wins, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sifu won it as well. Because I feel like that game took the Kung Fu world by storm. Again, it came out like literally a week or two before Forbidden West, and people played it. Like we played it for our game club game of the month, and Zach, you know what? I think he talked about it last week. He beat Sifu. He is the kung fu master. You know, he is the Cobra Kai dojo. He has the best, nothing but the best. I'll admit, he. I don't know if I'll go back to Sifu and beat it. That after I played those first couple levels, I'm like, I get the gameplay loop enough. I don't need to play any more of this. Plus I ran out of time. Excuse me. Um, what was another best action game? Sifu, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge, getting some love here. Neon White, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and Bayonetta 3. Best action adventure, we got Ragnarok, Plague Tale Requiem, Tunic, Forbidden West, and Stray. There was another one. I wanted to be content creator of the year: Nebelian, Carl Jacobs, Ludwig, Nobrew, and QT Cinderella. There was the best one? Best innovation. Where was that? I wanted to see what the nominees, because I haven't looked at that category yet. Give me 1 second. Innovation and accessibility: Ragnarok, Last of Us Part 1, The Quarry, As Dusk Falls, and Return to Monkey Island. Um, don't know, didn't ever played Return to Monkey Island, but As Dusk Falls, The Quarry, Last of Us Part 1, and Ragnarok have definitely upped the game in terms of accessibility. I know Last of Us Part 2 was the one, like, we've seen the videos of Steve Saylor, the blind gamer, literally weeping over the amount of accessibility options that were available in Last of Us Part 2. That set the standard and precedent for what games can do for more people to be able to play them and enjoy them just like everyone should. And I know that's just ratchet up. Like, I know God of War has, we talked about it, has 70 different accessibility settings in it. Last was Part 1, you know, up the ante from Part 2. The As Dusk Falls and The Quarry, I'm not sure I'm sure in terms of, like, because of they're both like narrative, like dialogue choice based games. Like, they're not really heavy on action. I'm sure they did something with the dialogue and like the different tones, like the different, like, I'm sure you could highlight who's speaking what in the different colors that you're able to see and discern. But yeah, it's always great to see that as a new category. Um, okay, so Zach, with a correction about Christopher Judge, he was nominated, but he did not win it in 2018. He was a BAFTA. He won a BAFTA for it. Got you. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was the guy who played who was the main character in Red Dead 2 that won it. Correct, for best performance. Zach says, "Call me Bruce Lee." Yeah, I'll give that to you. Like, look, I'll say you. I'm surprised you even went back to it. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm surprised you went back to and beat through Sifu. But good on you, my man. Like, you're a better man than I am. Let me see if there's any other ones I want to touch on real quick. Oh, best role playing: Elden Ring, Live Alive, Pokemon Legends Arceus getting a shout out here, Triangle Strategy, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Arceus, Arceus getting some love. I know it got a lot of love in the beginning of the year, and it's always funny going back and seeing these game awards and these nominees, and seeing games on lists that are like, oh yeah, that did come out this year. For me, it was like a couple years ago when the Mass Effect trilogy came out on PS4 and Xbox One, and I'm like, people were nominating it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that did come out this year. That's so crazy to think about, like how fast this year's gone by, but then how many games have come out this year. It's just ridiculous. Um, Best fighting game: Sifu, Multiverses, The King of Fighters 15, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R, and DNF Duel. Don't know what that last one is, but I feel like it'll come down to Sifu and Multiverses. I feel like that's going to be another top-heavy one. Um, Best family game: Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Nintendo Switch Sports, Splatoon 3, and Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Feel like it'll come down to either Kirby or Splatoon. I feel like Kirby, in my opinion, I feel like you should have stubbed out Xenoblade with Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Like, not trying to say anything about Xenoblade, but I feel like Kirby, like, set the different tone for what the Kirby franchise can be going forward, and I feel like it got snubbed off of Game of the Year nominations, in my opinion. Yep, it was Roger Clark for Arthur. That's what I figured. Because I forgot Red Dead came out the same year as God of War, so I figured it won a lot of things. Two major Pokemon games in 1 year. Too bad the new one runs like hot garbage. Oh, really? Wait, whoa. So you played Scarlet and Violet, or are you talking about Arceus? Because about to say, if you played Scarlet and Violet, I get that's interesting because it comes out tomorrow. I'm assuming you're talking about Arceus. Um. Anyway. Let's see. What else do I want to note anything else? Most anticipated game. They always do this, especially for beginning of the next year. Obviously, it's only for games that we know about, mostly for the first half because we don't know what's coming out else later in the year. But we got Resident Evil 4 Remake, Starfield, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Hogwarts Legacy, and Final Fantasy 16. I'm excited for all of these. My personal one, I would probably go either Hogwarts or Starfield, just because Starfield, I just want to see what Bethesda can do with a space RPG. And, just to get, just to play a big anticipated Xbox exclusive for once that's not named Halo or Gears. And then Hogwarts, obviously, for the Harry Potter. Like, Harry Potter for me is like Star Wars. Now, granted, Star Wars, especially with Andor, has grown for my appreciation over the years of watching this content. But Harry Potter and Star Wars were like the same, where like it was like it couldn't like for me it was like Marvel and Lord of the Rings. Like those are my two. Like I always wanted to watch that, even though I haven't watched Rings of Power. I know. Don't just. I'm working on it. But those are always my two that sat on the pedestal of like this is it for me. Like I'm always excited to see new stuff for that. And like Harry Potter and Star Wars, I'm like, oh yeah, I really appreciate this too, but I wouldn't like flock to theaters to see the new one. Like I would watch it, but I wouldn't like have to say, oh, I gotta see this day one. I have to see this. You know what I mean? But I'm growing in appreciation, and hopefully Hogwarts Legacy can do for that for Harry Potter for me, like Star Wars has done TV and movie wise over the last couple years. Um. Anyway, and then we got a bunch of esports stuff. So yeah, I think we're gonna. Oh, best multiplayer game. Let's end on this one. Multiverses, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Overwatch 2, Splatoon 3, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. Um, I feel like it'll come down. Any one of these could win. My personal thing is just because of how much even though we didn't play it, go back and play it. I feel like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge would be a good option. I feel like it'll be. I feel like Call of Duty is like the biggest, like too much of the obvious answer. But I would like to see either Multiverses or Splatoon 3 get this one. But I feel like my dark horse pick would be Shredder's Revenge as a nice little like it'd be the It Takes Two moment. I'm like, good for them. They deserve it. Well, let's see. Scarlet and Violet. Oh gosh. Scarlet, the reviews are trashing it for its performance. It is apparently really bad. Oh gosh. I know that they put out reviews in progress, but I haven't seen any numbered review scores yet. So that ain't good. Especially for I mean, say what you will about the legendaries, but I was kind of anticipating and looking forward to this like new iteration of Pokemon just to see like how different they could go with it. I'm the same on anticipated. You gotta watch Rings is so good. I know. I'm working on it. Hopefully over the holiday. I tried Rings of Power. Seems really stretched out. I passed after episode 3. Um, I know there's potentially a season 2 in the works, but they said it's going to be several years away before they go to it, if they do it. I forget if it's been officially greenlit for a second season, but I'm working on it. But yeah, Scarlet and Violet, that's no bueno, if true. We'll find out tomorrow how things go with sales. I feel like it'll be a lot of things where they'll play it just for like the nostalgia, but they won't really get into a lot of like the details that are giving people props. They are praising the design and what they are trying to do, but the Switch is not handling it. Oh, that's no bueno either. Sounds like it's time for that 4K Switch that they keep like putting off, or like just a new Nintendo console. Sounds like it's time to up the power. Um, so yeah, that's it for the Game Awards news, guys. Let me know what you're excited for down in the comments. What you're hoping for. What you think got snubbed. What your even the OLED version is running. Ooh, wow, ooh, that's even worse. But let me know what you're looking forward to. What you think will win different categories. What you hope to see. And just talk about what you expect, because apparently Jeff Keighley said, I think it's in the quick hits, there's going to be 50 plus games shown off, like as far as like world premieres and reveals at the Game Awards. What do you hope to see? Like, what are your expectations for Game Awards? Let me know in the comments, guys. Um, and of course, can't be a Nerd Cave production, can't be Nerd Cave news without some PlayStation news. First up, we've got Final Fantasy 16 to feature more than one playable character and reveals the creative director. There isn't a lot to go on at this point, with my hero-san simply stating, quote, "In the early stages, I also control characters other than Clive. The use of characters is interesting as it implies more than one additional playable character. However, it's unknown if this is anything significant or you will be playing as someone else only for a short segment." I feel like they're going to take, because they played on this with Final Fantasy 15, with being able to play as a bunch of the different characters in that 14 boy band party, especially in the DLC. I feel like, they're going to build upon that. I wonder if they're going to introduce co-op as a main thing in this game. Probably, I think I've read it's going to be one player, so I feel like it's going to be online co-op and not split screen. But I wonder how many different characters you'll get to play as if this ends up being true. I hope we get a release date. Like, for whatever reason, like, I haven't played a Final Fantasy game. Like, I'm really close on the precipice to playing Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Because it looks so good and intriguing. And 15 put me on the map to Final Fantasy in terms of, like, actually trying to be interested in getting into the series. And then 7 Remake did it, especially with how much popular it is with the fan base and all that. I'm so close to probably playing a Final Fantasy game, and 16 just kind of pushes. It gives me that Witcher feel, and I really enjoyed playing The Witcher for what I did. So it's really pushing me to that edge. So I'm looking forward to it. I probably will play 7 Remake before 16 comes out, if I'm being honest. But when and where, that'll depend on when the 16 comes out. Before I get into the next one, let's see. Skull and Bones, please. I got snubbed this year on my nomination. Zach, what was your nomination? Plus Skull and Bones. You got other games to play, Derek. You got other games to play, Derek, and 5 Guys to buy. Yes, I know. Like I said, guys, he's not gonna let me live it down until I pay that blood debt back. And yes, I do have plenty of other games to play, like Gotham Knights and Plague Tale Requiem and all these other games that I've played and all the other games that I've been putting on the back burner for the several years. But, sexiest gamer. Well, Zach, that's all. They couldn't do that because you'd be the only nominee. So they couldn't be fair. Game Awards had to be fair. Jeff Keighley said, I talked to Jeff Keighley about that, and he said, look, man, I could just give him the award, but then I feel like, would it be even worth making a category? I should just mail him his award privately and just be done with it. So I don't know. I talked to Jeff though. He regrets not putting you up there for recognition. Speaking, well, that's not a good segue. Anyway, on to our second PlayStation news story. God of War Ragnarok dev is, quote, spread out on a lot of different things, but won't go into specifics. Sony's Santa Monica Studios' Cory Barlog has revealed that the God of War Ragnarok developer is currently, quote, spread out on a lot of different things, although wouldn't go into any detail as to what the company is actually working on. Speaking with the LA Times, Eric Williams also chimed in on the matter, saying that if the studio were to simply focus on God of War for the remainder of its career, then there'd be no shame in doing so. Quote, I remember talking to someone from another gaming company where they were trying to get me to leave. They said, quote, do you just want to be known as the God of War guy for the rest of your life? That was your big pitch to dissuade me? But yes, I kind of do. I feel like, this could go in one of several different ways, because I know before 2018, God of War 2018 came out, they were working on a space RPG. They got the Battlestar Galactica writer to, pen it and whatnot, and then for whatever reason it fell through, didn't happen. Then they went back to the well and dived into God of War. It could be a multitude of different things. Like, I feel like they could do something indie-wise, because I know they've done Fat Princess Adventures. They did another indie game that was like a cult hit. I forget the name of it. Tim Geddes over on Kinda Funny yesterday talked about it and his love for it. I forget the name of it. Zach will probably correct me here in just a moment. But yeah, they could do something indie. They could do, obviously, the next God of War, whatever that is. However Ragnarok ends, I'm sure they've left the door open to continue the series in some form or fashion. Or they could do just a new IP altogether. My gut tells me that they will do a new IP at least to test the waters out to, because I feel like they don't want to tie themselves down like some of the Xbox studios done, like 343 being named something Halo related and only doing Halo, with the Coalition being named something for Gears of War and only doing Gears of War. I feel like they don't want to be just known as the God of War studio. Now, that's not going to be, especially with these last two iterations, that's not going to be a bad thing. But I feel like they want to branch out and see what else they can do, because they've seen what Sucker Punch, who is just known as Infamous, who is just known as Sly Cooper, branch out and do Ghost and get rave reviews about it. They saw Naughty Dog, who was just known as Jack and Daxter in the Uncharted studio, do Last of Us and got rave expectations for it. Insomniac, just they do an amalgam of different things. They did the Resistance franchise and they did Ratchet, stuff that was good and enjoyable but didn't take the world by storm. Then did Spider-Man and did Gangbusters. Granted, it was a licensed property, but we've seen how you can either make a good licensed property or you could flop. And they killed it. They knocked it out of the park. And they've seen that. And I think Santa Monica's is like, why not us? Why can't we reinvented God of War. We reinvented Kratos. Why can't we do something new and exciting and see what we can do with something or going into the unknown and starting from scratch? I feel like that'll be the easiest thing. But again, don't be surprised if they do go back to God of War in some iteration down the road. But I think after taking the last 4 years to pump out Ragnarok, and get it out there just so they can wrap up this duology of the newest God of War saga, I feel like they're going to leave it on the back burner and maybe wait till either the end of the PS5 life cycle or the beginning of the PS6 life cycle, or whatever the next PlayStation is going to be called, to bring this back. Let me see. I'm like a unicorn baby, one of a kind. You are right, sir. You're definitely one of a kind, for good and for bad. Curious if they are working on a Twisted Metal game, since they are doing a show. They've also done, I forget, they've done Journey and Flower as well, and Flow, in terms of indie games. So they have an interesting portfolio for Santa Monica, so they could go any kind of route. I think they also did Unfinished Swan as well. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, Twisted Metal, Blue Point could be doing it. Another studio, I think, what other studio was it that was working on a beloved remake of a PlayStation series? It could be them as well. I feel like Santa Monica may not, because I feel like Twisted Metal was like one of David Jaffe's babies. Like, yes, you could say that about the original God of War trilogy, but it was mainly just God of War 2. But I think Twisted Metal was more David Jaffe's baby, so I don't know if they want to do that, especially with the show coming out, but that's a good possibility as well. I don't know. The world is Santa Monica Studios' oyster at this point. They could just do whatever, as long as they take what they learned from Ragnarok and 2018 and take that into whatever the next thing is. They'll hit it out of the park. I have that much faith in them now. Like, I obviously, I would be bold to say that they are fighting for number 2. Like, Naughty Dog is the crown jewel in Sony's first party stable, and then it's like a fight between Santa Monica, and I feel like, well, I feel like it's a 3-way tie for number 2 between Santa Monica, Insomniac, and Sucker Punch. Now, Sucker Punch, they have to put out the next property, whether that's Ghost of Tsushima 2 or whatever their next project is, to be considered. Like, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was a really good bout. But they have to do another gangbuster before they could, be in that fight hot and heavy. I feel like it's definitely Insomniac with what the bangers they've been putting. No, wait, Ratchet and Clank's Insomniac. I am so sorry. It has been a long day, guys. I'm starting to cross streams here. Forget what I just said. They got to put out Ghost of Tsushima 2 to be considered a gangbuster. I feel like they're the outside looking in, obviously, but you could make a case for them as well. But yeah, Santa Monica's up there for number 2. You could argue they're already number 2, but I feel like they're up there for sure. What's next? Oh yeah. Well, hold on. Let me check the chat real quick. They did do Unfinished Swan. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, really good, a lot of indie stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if they actually while working on the next big AAA thing, threw in out an indie game or two while they're at it, just to tide people over, just to be like, hey, remember this, or here's what else we've been working on. Because we talked about last week, they're 200 people strong now. They've got lots of hands on deck to work on different things. It's only a matter of time before we see their next project. Now on to the PlayStation Quickies. We got PS5 top US hardware sales for October. No surprise. Report claims scalper bots are, quote, slowly starting to lose interest in PlayStation 5. Good. Let them choke on their spending thousands of dollars on the systems and have to eat crow. PSVR 2 will be powered by MediaTek's first SoC for VR. New Sony patent describes method to detect if a player is idle through motion. Another new patent shows PlayStation investigating use of blockchain technology and one of the unmentionables. Please don't. Just stop it. Just, that ship has sailed. That horse is dead. I'll slaughter it personally. You know what I mean? Like I'll do the Lord's work. I'll slaughter that horse. Just don't do it, Sony. Shoo. Please get involved. Just tell Jim Ryan to kick rocks on this one. Sony Interactive leads all other publishers across the Game Awards for nominations. The unofficial PS3 history book, quote, "It only did everything," smashes Kickstarter goal. PlayStation Visual Arts Studio contributed a lot to the Callisto Protocol with mocap and cinematics. VR Sword Fighter Altair Breaker is coming to PSVR 2. Some other updates for PSVR 2. The free No Man's Sky PSVR 2 update confirmed for the launch of the headset, as well as Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Enhanced Edition and Demeo announced as launch day titles for the PSVR 2. Marvel Spider-Man 2 will not feature Scott Porter returning as Harry Osborn. To end some God of War news, Ragnarok photo mode has already been unlocked despite not being finished. Ragnarok Easter egg seemingly nods at PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, and the actor for Odin was convinced to take the role by his son. It's always nice to see when family get involved, how much of an influence they play, especially with the whole family dynamic in the God of War duology this time around. The where was it? The Visual Arts Studio contributing a lot to Callisto Protocol. I feel like that played a lot into they get the PlayStation exclusive mission, and some like the marketing for PlayStation. I feel like that played a lot into it. It's like, hey, you scratched our back, we'll give you some exclusive stuff as well. But like I said, the scalper bots slowly losing interest in like buying up all the PS5s once they go on sale on websites and whatnot is a huge step forward. It means we're one step closer to getting out of this fog that was 2020 and getting back into a normalcy for just because I know I talked to my former boss at GameStop and he said like, yeah, they're just getting regular PS5s now. No bundle mess, no extra controllers, no jargon about, oh, you have to get this with this and like you can only buy the bundle and you have to be a pro member to get this, yada yada yada. It's just a system by itself. Everything else is optional if you want to buy it. So seeing this makes me happy and makes me hope that someone sitting in their basement right now with close to 100 PS5s that they spent thousands of dollars on and can't sell them and is stuck with them and in debt. It makes me smile a lot. Kick rocks. Altair Swords. What? No, it's not Assassin's Creed related, Murdoch. It's just the name of the title. I don't know if it's a big VR games on like MetaQuest or whatnot. But it's not what you think it is. What else? Okay. That's all from the PlayStation Quickies, guys, but we're not done. We still got them quick hits for the rest of the gaming news. We got to get some other short stories out there to let the people know. First off, Dragon Age Absolution reveals a December 9th release date that is the Netflix animated show. I haven't seen the trailer. Hope it looks good. Hope it stays true to the Dragon Age series and lore. Google Stadia has begun issuing Stadia refunds. Remedy has announced Control 2 for the PS5, Series X and S, and PC. Saints Row November update has been teased that it's a beast. However, where was it? There's also some Saints Row news that actually got announced, was it yesterday or this morning, that the developer Volition is moving from Deep Silver to Gearbox Entertainment for publishing. Nintendo's Shigeru Miyamoto says backwards compatibility is easier than ever before. Battlefield 2042 set for EA Play, and Season 3 details include new weapons and reworked classes. Publisher Krafton acquired the Ascent developer and prepares for new studio launch in Canada. Rumored Metal Gear Solid 3 remake developer Virtuous links itself to Konami. Hogwarts Legacy receives over 40 minutes of stunning fantasy-fueled gameplay. Sonic Frontiers, quote, still has a long way to go, says game director. Sega's looking for a Sonic lore manager to make the series universe, quote, more meaningfully connected. Excuse me. Fortnite Chapter 3 will end next month with finale set for December 3rd. The Game Awards to feature 50 plus games, according to Jeff Keighley. Rocket League is coming to Fortnite. That is something I never thought I would say in a sentence, but that's the world we live in at this point. Multiverses Season 2 is out now with a shop, Big Head mode, and more available. Also, it's adding Marvin the Martian and Game of Thrones stage. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was unsurprisingly the best-selling game of October. However, the Modern Warfare 2 CDL Mosh Pit has been delayed. Winter Soldier and the Cloning Lab Omega level threat hit Marvel's Avengers on November 29th. The Witcher 3's next-gen update will hit December 14th. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty confirmed as a paid-for expansion. No surprise there. Bioshock director says movie will be, quote, really true to the game itself. Would you kindly? Tekken 8 release is targeting fiscal year 2023, but could be later. Streets of Rage film adaptation in the works with John Wick writer behind it. As I mentioned earlier, Dead Island 2, which was only given a release date of February 3rd, not that long ago, has been delayed till April 28th. Still, just about almost 3 months, but, still a delay nonetheless. Pokemon TCG Live app now available in beta worldwide. Xbox November update connects Discord voice chat directly to consoles. And lastly, Xbox puts its streaming-only console on hold due to high costs. Just a couple. The Phantom Liberty expansion being paid for, no surprise. Like, I know that Witcher 3 did a season pass, which gave you both expansions, but, they made them both standalone to where you could buy them separately anyway. So it's no surprise that you have to pay for this expansion. Multiverse getting Marvel the Martian and Game of Thrones stage is great. Like, I love seeing, like, even though I haven't played the game, seeing it still getting support like a la Smash Brothers is still exciting to see, which makes me hope that not that it's going to overtake Smash Brothers, obviously, but just to be in the same breath and like seriousness as Smash Brothers would be something to see. Found out one of my coworkers was a gouger. Oh, great. Oh boy. I'm sure you had to curve your tongue on a lot of stuff on that conversation, Zach. Murdoch says Assassin's Creed Sword VR would be dope. Yes, it would. Not sure. I'm surprised Ubisoft already hasn't done something like that, but whatever. What Rocket League cars as people? I'm sure that'll be. I wouldn't be surprised if those were going to be like ground vehicles in like a different mode for Fortnite. If I had to fathom a guess, but yeah, I'm surprised. They'll probably do the cop out and just make you put skins of the Fortnite vehicles on the character and put like wheels on like the arms and the shoulder joints or whatnot. Yeah, he bought five PS5s and sold them for 1,000 each. Woof. Hopefully he eats that debt. I'm just saying, like, I don't know your coworker. Probably a somewhat decent person, but hope he eats it. Is there anything else I want to touch on? Battlefield 2042 coming out, like trying to revive like a phoenix from the ashes is interesting. Like obviously it's going to be on EA Play, so if you have Game Pass Ultimate or an EA Play account, you'll get to play it for free. Hopefully that game gets better because Battlefield needs to give Call of Duty some competition, or at least something does. What else? Is there anything else I want to touch on? There was something, but like I said, I touched on Dead Island 2. But yeah, the Bioshock, is really true to the game itself. I hope it does. Like, obviously, I don't want it to be just a recreation and a retelling of the game, but I hope it stays true to it. It has all the buzzwords, like the key features and all that. So I really enjoyed Bioshock 1. So hopefully they do stay true to it and honor the what the series has done. Um, but that is the show, guys. Like that was pretty good. I'm about to say for my first solo soiree into it. Maybe I don't need Zach. No, I'm just kidding. Let me stop because he'll either get angry or he'll say, "All right, bet you can run the show and run OBS, and I'll do all this other stuff on your own. Have fun, buddy." I don't want him to get mad at me, but it was good. Let me know how you liked it. Let me know. Let me know what you thought of my solo venture. Did I ramble on too long? Usually we have a tendency to do that, but I kind of stayed to myself and I kind of um stayed on track for what I'm known to do. Um, I was hyped for Battlefield 2042 until it hit reg and destroyed it. Yeah, I mean it happens. I mean I think that's the state of a lot of multiplayer games, especially a lot of multiplayer shooters nowadays. Um, you did good, donkey. Thank you, man. And I'll say, good spread, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot. So I always try to add a little different flair every week. Obviously we have the staples like PlayStation News and like whenever something big happens, but wanted to make sure there was a good like little different subjects to talk about. It didn't stay too long on all of them. So Zach's whippings have stuck with me. I'm just kidding. He doesn't whip me. Not. I had to sign an NDA to say that. Um, but yeah, that'll do, pig. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Um, but yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed my ramblings, my craziness, as it would say. Especially in the beginning where the inmates running the asylum, and then Zach's little butt in is like, "I'm still watching you, boy." Like Zach confirmed in the chat, if you're now just joining us, if you missed it earlier, we did confirm we are not doing a show next week. Next Thursday will be Thanksgiving. We want you to spend it with the people that you love. We want you to, eat some good food, stay safe, stay warm, because I know it's getting cold. It's supposed to be in the 20s tonight, guys, at least in my neck of the woods in Alabama. It's crazy. I love it, but I know not everyone does. So stay warm where you're at if you don't like the cold. Um, we'll be back in 2 weeks talking about some news. I feel like what's the week after? I feel like not it won't be. Yeah, it'll be December 1st. So, but when we come back in 2 weeks, it'll be the week before Game Awards, and I'm sure a lot of stuff will be going on and be talked about, be skeptical, probably be leaked going into a week before Game Awards as to what we might see. So stay tuned, guys. We love you. Again, you can check us out on youtube.com/nerdcave and check us out. If you missed it live, you can always watch the rerun. Podcast versions up will be available. I know Zach works on it when he can, so just stay tuned if you're a podcast listener. Make sure you share it. You smash that like button. Smash it without smashing your computer. How you do that, you got to find out and then let me know so I can I can spread the good word. Share this with somebody that you love. You know, just keep tuned. Like, I don't know if Zach's gonna. I don't know if he wants to say it here. I know we're not doing a show next Thursday, but I don't know if Zach's gonna stream at any point, like earlier in the week, like Monday or Tuesday by himself. He'll keep you. Tuesday will be live. He says he's already ahead of the game. He already knows what I'm thinking. So he'll be live on Tuesday. Don't know what he'll be doing. He'll be playing something, talking some kind of smack about me, probably about how I owe him everything off the Five Guys menu. But stay tuned. He'll keep you posted. But anyway, guys, and don't forget, go to this Epic store and use that creator code NerdCave to get, even if it's on something free, even if you're just buying V-Bucks or you're just redeeming a code for something free, use our creator code. Throw us some dollars. Make me holler. Give me some new crop top polos. Christmas is coming up, guys. You want to give me a Christmas gift? Give me some money for some new crop top polos. You owe me a Five Guys franchise? I don't know about that, brother. You don't deserve just because you were right about a game release doesn't mean you get a whole franchise. But I digress. But anyway, guys, we love you. We hope you have a good night. Have a good weekend. Like I said, stay safe. spend time with your loved ones, eat some good food, stay warm. This has been Derek with the Nerd Cave Network. Have a good night. Bye.